I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks. Two Dicks we're talking. We're the spinoff from the web series The Two Dicks. Al Ducharme, Studio City. Al Romas, Tampa, Florida today. What's going on, buddy?
We're dealing with ETA.
I know.
Hurricane ETA, or ETA. I don't know how it's pronounced. I haven't heard it pronounced, but they've kind of run out. ETA, that's what
ETA
we're
with
dealing
one
with.
T.
She's here. Wasn't there a comic?
She blows.
ETA May?
What?
ETA May? Wasn't there a comic? ETA May?
I think there was.
Am I wrong? Yeah, I think it was a younger girl dressed as an old lady.
Yeah,
or
she
some
blew
shit.
too.
Yeah, she was terrible. Anyway, yeah, we're dealing with that, and everything's closing down early today. And right now it's just some rain, but people are freaking out. So, that's what we're dealing with. I drove home in this Sunday. I was in Naples, and I drove home after the gig, and it was further south,
right.
2.5 hours. And there was a lot of weather then, too. It was pretty hectic drive back in the rain.
She's a big storm, but a slow mover. Is that what it is?
She's a slow mover, man. She moves slow. Old ETA. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Ah.
And our patron, Bobby. And his wife, Linda, who they watch the podcast together. Mm-hmm. They enjoy it.
Hey, Bobby and Linda, thanks for watching. We appreciate your support.
On the Patreon, they are good patrons of the Patreon, and they came out to the 7 o'clock show, and Bobby brought some Cubanos, some nice Cuban steaks.
The pandemic is the best thing that's ever happened to your career.
Well, my career of one-nighters and Cuban cigars, yes, it hasn't been bad. But, yeah, it was great to see them, and they saw us when you and I and Bernie were up in Borgata.
Right, yes. I remember. I met him after the show.
Yeah, at the B Bar. And they're down in Naples now, full-time. They made the move, left Jersey, full-time Naples.
Good move.
So, yeah, they're about 10 minutes from the club.
I love Naples. I love Naples almost as much as I love nipples.
Hey, that was right there for you. I waited. I thought you were going to hit it. Yeah, you have to. Insert sound of bat hitting ball.
Or a golf club.
But yeah, great. Yeah, the Masters starting this week.
Tiger.
Thursday. No.
He made the cut.
DeChambeau is the
he's
Vegas.
Yeah, he's the man.
7-1 odds.
Yeah, he's like on fire. He's Tiger in his prime. He's Tiger 1998.
I would my money. I would put some money on Koepka, Brooks Koepka. Mm-hmm. I think he just finished last weekend. He did great. I think him and who's the guy who's married to Gretzky's daughter? Do you know that guy?
Yeah, but I don't remember his name.
I always forget the guy's name.
Yeah.
But that guy, yeah, he's another one. But then Tiger's the defending champ. He won last year. We'll see what happens. But Masters in November. It's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. So let's talk about our different. We both have different backdrops than we've had previously. Recently, anyways.
Why? Tell us why you're in.
Well, this is the original one where we started the Talking Dicks, and then I added the AIDS quilt, as you call it, which is from F is for Family. That's my character, Anthony, pointing that out. And then I moved up to the office because I didn't want to have to set this up every time, and I've run into issues up there as well. But we had a pipe burst in the wall, and now there's plaster. It's all pulled apart. And as a matter of fact, the next 2 episodes will not be recorded here at all. I'll be on the road. I'll be in my car. So we're going to do Zoom in my car. Because the whole place there's going to be dehumidifier fans running.
Yeah. 3
of them. They have to dry it all out so that we don't get the mold.
Right.
So it's going to be, everything's going to be in plastic. It's going to be like a Dexter kill room. It's just going to be white noise. We're actually going to be staying in a bed and breakfast, but we're not leaving until next week. I shouldn't be telling people this. I'm going to break in.
You could leave early. You could do the podcast from the new residence.
Yes, we're going to be.
You may not be.
We rented a barn hayloft. It's been converted into a fancy schmancy little Airbnb. It's separate from. It's on an estate. It's separate from the main house, We have our own.
Right.
It's a self check-in
The big house, separate from the big
from
house.
the big house.
Yeah, is that okay to say? I don't know. Is that racial? I don't know. I don't know anymore.
The big house is jail.
Okay.
I am now in
okay.
Sing Sing.
Oh, okay. I was thinking back in slave days, they had the big house. That's where the
yes, the
and then the other people, they lived in little or smaller lofts of type. So you might be in an old slave quarters, is what I'm saying.
now just now hold on a cotton picking minute. That was not racist. These are sayings, and these are sayings.
That's good
from back.
That's good
back
comedy. That's ironic that we're saying that, and then the song I used for Instagram to ask if anybody had any questions was Devo. Whip it.
Boom, 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 boom. Bing, boom. Whip it good. Whip it out. Rawr.
I never really got those guys, to be honest. I like the song. I didn't get the whole flower pots on the head.
No, I didn't.
And the whole.
I pretended I was into it because I was a weird kid, anyways, and thriving for attention and whatnot. So I was always performing. I was a spaz, and those guys were performing. And
yeah, I knew the kids who I would try to stay away from in high school. They were into Devo and Talking Heads.
I did like Talking Heads, whereas Devo was horrible. Devo was just a joke and a gimmick. But Talking Heads, David Byrne, I think he's a genius, musical genius.
But the nerdy weirdos were all into Talking Heads early. Like, it took me a couple of years to get into it but those kids, they were into Devo, Talking Heads, all that. A lot of stuff turned out to be very good.
It was the beginning of the nerds making a comeback, or becoming.
But they were also learning code in 1995, and now they're millionaires. So I was punching them, and then they go home and write.
See, I was hanging out with you, the puncher, and I was hanging out with the nerds. I was always that in between guy. So I was the bridge. And sometimes I bring one of the nerds with me when I was with all the cool kids, and they were like, "What the fuck you bring him for?" and that guy's in jail, and the nerd guy is like the head of NBC or something.
Oh, is he?
Well, what I'm saying is it's like Paul Kozlowski, comedian Paul Kozlowski, who I think is a comic genius in his own right. He talks about getting pulled over by the bully from his neighborhood, who's a cop now. And he pulls him over. He goes, "Hey, Paul, do you know why I pulled you over?" He goes, "No, why?" He goes, "Because you suck." And that guy ends up staying as the local cop.
That's funny.
And Paul goes on to follow his dreams and, do his
Yeah,
thing.
that's funny, though. Yeah, well, Long Island, where I grew up, that's all those guys. Their father was the cop when we grew up, and then they became the cop. And they look the same. I mean, I go to like a bar on Long Island, and my friends look like their dads, exactly like the old man. Right? Whereas I haven't aged at all. Weird.
Yeah, half my family are cops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Black Lives Matter, but whatever. Defund the police.
Well, one of them is black.
Oh,
well, he identifies black.
Oh, I see.
Which one? Which relative is black? The black one.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I remember him. In Rhode Island, he stood out a bit.
Yes, he stood out a bit.
Hey, look at that.
It's time for
Questions.
Whoa!
Questions.
I wish that I could reach the questions when you put them up.
Oh, let me see. Here. If you don't have the video, you don't know what's happening.
Oh, that's right.
Join the Patreon. $5 a month, $10, $15, whatever you choose. It's a tier. You choose what to pay, and then you get to see Alfred trying to grab a question envelope with his little thingy.
Well, sometimes I chase the cat with this. So these are called.
And by cat, you mean wife?
Well, it's not. This isn't a Trump thong. They're tongs. Tongs. These are tongs. It's not a Trump. It's not a Trump tong.
I'm not grasping words today. And what's crazy is the question, which is not really a question, but
is it a statement? We get a lot of statements when we ask for questions.
Well, I say I'll read whatever they put up there. You know what I mean? Trying to So this is from, and he's contributed before. This is comedian John Bazar.
Oh, I love John Bazar.
John Bazar from Las Vegas, Nevada.
He inspired me quite a bit. When I told you that when I started out. John, he was the headliner they'd bring in from out of town. And he just like wowed the place. Yeah.
He was a killer headliner. Yes. He had some props, and remember the big boombox, the big pan.
But he took the room over.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. He was one of those Long Island guys I would watch and just be like, holy shit! Like, we're supposed to do that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that was involved.
He's out buying fireworks. He's getting animals to be a part of his act.
I can't do that. Well, John Bazar asks, and this ties into when I had the question. I had Devo whip it for some. I just saw the song and thought that'd work. He wrote, "Shouldn't Devo have told us to whip it well rather than good?"
That is the correct.
And was whipping necessary? That goes back to our big house. The whole thing ties in. Holy God.
I'm staying in a hayloft.
The whole
not the plantation owner's house, okay?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
You could be living with Don Johnson in Django Unchained. Big Daddy.
Wow. Good movie. I enjoyed that flick.
Great movie. A little long, but great movie.
Well, it's Tarantino, so I give him the extra 20 minutes to a half hour.
Great movie. I love when Django's there, and he's a free man now, and then one of the slaves, Big Daddy says to this, remember the slave girl, show him around, and she goes, okay, and he goes, treat him he's a free man, so treat him well. She goes, so I treat him like you, Big Daddy? He goes, no, not like me. He's free, man, but not like me. No.
That was very funny. Samuel L. Jackson was spectacular in that.
Oh, yeah.
Playing the plantation owner's right-hand man or right-hand man.
Yeah. He was
a lieutenant.
He was guy, he grew up with him, he raised him, and then he really, you see, and then he's really running the show. Remember, he has that meeting with him, and then all of a sudden he's sitting in the library with a snifter of cognac, telling DiCaprio what's going on here, because DiCaprio doesn't see it.
Samuel was not black in that movie.
He's like, you're being played. Yeah. These people lying.
But how he would go up to the other ones and call them the N-words, it's just like.
Oh yeah. It's a little. But anyway, that would whipping. Well, rather than good, I agree with that. And was whipping necessary? Well, if you have a song called "Whip It Good," I think you go with whipping. And they liked the "Crack That Whip" was the hook of the song. Remember, there was literally a cracking whip.
I think they said. So, I think that was one of the lyrics. Crack that whip.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
So,
bing, bong, boom, 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 boom. Whip it well. Whip it well. He's a whipper.
Well, that reminds me of, and I'll throw in for any Beatle nerds out there.
Uh-oh.
When the Beatles wrote "She Loves You," McCartney's father, he was an old English guy, jazz musician. He said, "Paul, why not instead of yeah, maybe yes. Why be so American? Maybe make it yes." And Paul and John were like, "Okay, thanks, Dad. We're out of
Thanks.
here.
We're out of here.
She loves you. Yes. So same thing. I like to throw one in there for the Beatle nerds.
That's a good one.
Who listen in.
Apropos. Yeah. Is that it? Are we done?
Is
that it for this episode?
What does that mean? Where does that come from? Apropos. What does that even? Why is that a term? I don't care for it. Why did that happen? Apropos. It's the whole thing. It's annoying. Apropos. You sound a little pretentious. No one really knows what it means. It's garbage. Not a fan. Apropos of nothing. I'm not a fan.
Whip it well.
No, really, don't mess with me, because I don't come down to the bus station and slap the dick out of your mouth when you're working, do I? Oh, get on up here, motherfucker. Give me security. I'm sorry, man. The guy fucking came at me. What do you think, folks?
No way.
Okay, show.
All right. Subscribe.
Mary.
Go to patreon.com/forward the two dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?